Today's guests are a group of Chilean filmmakers, Josefina, Martin, and Jacobi, behind the haunting short Sorrow Doesn't Sleep at Night. Their short has been selected for the animated shorts program at Sundance Film Festival. Give it up for them. And this is Kicking It With Tyree.
Ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kick it with Tyree, hit it 3 like Kyrie.
Getting into Sundance, that's a great achievement. And can you each
Thank you.
briefly introduce yourselves and describe your role within the film?
Do you want to start, Josefina?
Okay. Hi, my name is Josefina. I am one of the directors of Sorrow Doesn't Sleep at Night. I animate too in the short film. And yes, that's all.
And I'm Martín André. I'm also the director of the short film. I also animated, and we write the script together. We edit the short film together. We basically did everything together. This was our thesis from university, so it's very exciting to be selected at Sundance with like a work from university.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's beautiful.
My name's Jacobi. I'm a writer on the film, and I also work on art and puppet making. But yeah, we started working on this story together with Martin, and then we decided it would be their project for school, and then that's where it started.
That's beautiful. What drew you guys to the story, and why did it feel important to tell it through animation? Especially the style you chose.
Well, we didn't know much about animation. Like we did some rotoscoping and other stuff in university, but they didn't teach us how to animate in stop motion in this like sorry, I'm at work, so there's people here. Well, but they didn't teach us how to animate, but we wanted to make a stop motion animated short film, like in this like more traditional way, if I say so. But yeah, we wanted to speak about death and loneliness and grief also, and these are like situations or like sentiments that all of us in the team we share similar experiences in some ways. So yeah.
Yeah, I would add to that we started working on this story while we were actually like in the woods, just like walking around, and we knew that we had to do something because we knew that the project for school was coming up, and we kind of drew inspiration from different things, like our thoughts on parenthood and like loss and our experiences with that. And then I think it involved the animation style kind of in the same process. Like it wasn't really linear. Like I think it started this way, but I don't think we knew it would end the way it ended. But it made it really special because I think we knew we wanted to experiment. And I think the movie and its story itself is really elemental. And I think that the materials we use, which were some natural materials and some more like craft materials, like felt, and it just felt really natural, the whole process. And I think that's in the story and also in the animation style.
I think it was like try new things, new stuff, because we don't know like anything about stop motion, and we just I don't know, like jumping this journey, and it was really amazing, emotional too, and yeah.
That's amazing. Being able to, jump in head first and just see what comes out of it. I am in that. It takes a lot of courage to, try something you've never done. And I read that the film centers around isolation, guilt, and the ghost of the past. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Where did that emotional idea or the story originate?
I think, well, the story is based on this man that secludes himself in the woods, and you kind of, by the end of the film, you see why he did this, like what is he hiding from, and in a very like metaphorical way, he's hiding from himself. And I think when we started talking about what we wanted to do was, as I said, like we wanted to explore parenthood, even though we're not parents ourselves, but we have parents. And I think we also been through some losses, like family loss, and just reflecting on personal experiences with those two aspects, we kind of just built on this guy that doesn't really exist, but is like a representation of what we saw and like what we think happens when you try and avoid your feelings of guilt and like just anger and like sadness and all these things. And then it also became very much whimsical, and kind of that took its own turn. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, you said everything.
Mhm.
Okay. With that, this character is pretty much not trapped themselves, but hidden themselves from the world. How intentional was creating the environment to reflect his grief and his madness?
I think it was very intentional. We start the like making the script, and we know how the last picture of the short film will be, like this uh, house burning. And we also reflect a lot of the symbolisms of fire and water, and we work with that to to intensify the feelings that the character was having through the short film. The short film starts like very like watery, if I'd say so, and then it turns like more fire, and like the sound change.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, my English it's not very good, but I'm trying my good.
No. I understand everything you're saying. You're good. No worries.
I think nature was something that appears in the short film like a whole, like fire, water, wind, and I think, like Martin said, um, the symbolism, like water and purification, but also drowning in your own emotions. Uh, it was like the intention of the short film. Like we try to speak, like from that point of beginning. I don't know if it's understand.
Mm, I
Mhm.
understand.
Okay.
Um, with that, what made stop motion the right medium for this story?
Mm.
Uh, I think we wanted to like tell this like drama story, but we wanted to mix it with fantasy, and we wanted this monster to appear, and to burn a house. I think it's very difficult to do it in real life. Like when we did the short film, we were students, so we didn't have much resources to make the short film. So we basically we collect moss and plants from our gardens. We made the forest, and we made the house with ice cream sticks,
Mhm.
basically.
I love that.
And we put all that together to make the short film. And I think stop motion was the only right way to do it
Mhm.
because
And
it
it
adds.
was stop motion was a way to soften like the short films themes. Like it's cute, it's fluffy, and the themes are more on the darker side. So stop motion was the right option.
Nice. It's something, you know, that kind of can throw you off. As nice and fluffy and
Mhm.
cute, but it's also, once you start watching it, it gets extremely dark, you know.
Yes.
And
Mm,
okay, you guys answered like two of my questions
Mhm.
with your answer, so I'm kind of looking around, seeing what I'm going to ask you guys next. As directors, how did camera movement and framing express this unraveling inner world within the character?
could you repeat the question?
How did camera movement and framing help express the characters unraveling like inner world?
Mm, I think it's a mix of things. Like we start with the camera, but we also the sound and just like the wood of the face of the character were very important to express these feelings of what he was going through. Um, and also the color grading. Uh, at first, the like I said, the short film start with some blue tones, and then it's all fire and red and orange and yellow.
And I think the camera, like the shots, were like more close in his face, and as the short film like goes on, the camera opens and it's more landscape, more space, more what's around this man.
Mhm. And with that, how did sound design play a role to help you create that kind of uneasy feeling as the story goes on?
Um, well, it's interesting, I think, because we did the whole short film without hearing anything. Like we just took the flat. So when we start working on the sound with Javiera and then Mauricio Lopez, uh, it gave a whole another layer to the short film that we didn't know it could exist. Um, so I think the sound, um, uh, I'm sorry, the sound. It's just something very important to the short film because it like of course the character moves his face, his eyes, but without the sound, we wouldn't know what things he's going through. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that speaks a lot about teamwork as well and like trusting each other in the process because we kind of gave Javier ideas of what we wanted it to sound like and what the general vibe was, but she took it to like a whole nother level with more than what we expected. Like she made a whole soundtrack. Like we have music, like we have a song that is like the soundtrack to this film, and it ends with that music, and it's just, it takes you to a different like whole world. And I think it's because we trusted her and she trusted us, that's why.
And also the short film has no dialogue, so the ambient sound was essential to the story.
You guys talk about how this started as a student project at the university, and how did you guys depend on each other in that time? Because I know when I was in college at a university, we, like you said earlier, you didn't have any resources. You only had your friends and your peers around you. How did you like kind of depend on each other to get this project done?
I think we depend a lot on each other because to make a stop motion animated short film, it's a lot of work. We like literally wrote the script, we made the art, we made the puppets, we start animated, and we finished the animation in like 3 months. We only had 1 semester to make the short film, and during that period we also have to get money to finance this thing. So the whole process of the short film was very collective. We, like we said in the beginning, we work as like we were directors, writers, editors, and our work was fundamental in like all the pre-production, the production, the post-production, and now also the distribution of the short film.
I got a kind of thrown off question, kind of not about the project. It's just about you guys. What are you guys' comfort films? Like films when you're just, it's a rainy day, you're sitting on your couch. What is a film that you guys like to watch that brings you comfort, or TV show?
I think the Holdovers, like this Christmas movie, and Fantastic Mr. Fox, and also I think it's Thailand, Thailand movie. It's called How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies. It's an amazing movie, and I cry a lot, but it's my comfort movie.
I'm not sure if that movie was at Sundance at some point. I'm trying to think where I saw it at, but I do like that movie. It's a good movie. How about you guys?
In my case, I think it's a movie called Close by Lucas Stone. I just love how the two kids like the friendship that the movie shows of these two kids, and it's very like innocent and very like comforting, and I just love that film.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I like comfort movies, but I think if it's rainy out, I also like to watch like a horror movie, and I would watch like Suspiria or Possession. Like those are my favorite kind of crazy movies. But I also like The Farewell. Like if I want to cry, if I want a good cry, or in the mood for love. Nomadland is also really amazing.
Okay. For me, it really depends. I have like tiers of comfort movies, like whether it's a comedy or a horror movie or just like a coming of age story. Um, for me, a lot of people don't like this movie by him. It's an Eddie Murphy movie called Norbit. I don't know if you guys ever seen it.
Yeah,
For
I've
me,
seen
I laugh so
I
much at the movie
haven't.
every time. Every time I see it, I laugh so much, and it's like voted one of his worst movies ever made. And for me, it's top three. Like I watch it all the
it.
time. Well, not all the time, but I give it like once a year. I'll just throw it on for giggles. Another one of his movies is called oh wow, I just spaced on the name of the movie, but I love Eddie Murphy movies. I love Hitch. Have you ever seen Hitch? It's with Will Smith, Kevin Smith, or yeah, it's when Will Smith is like he sets people up and helps people go on dates and stuff. So
Mhm.
those are some of my comfort movies. Then there's a movie called The Wood and Dope. They're both by the same director. They're kind of continuations of one another. Those are my comforts. Getting back into kind of your project, what was the biggest creative challenge that you faced as a team, and how did you work together through it?
Mhm.
I think the the most difficult challenge was to get the short done. I think
Mhm.
uh, we this was a student project. We had to make it in 3 months or four, more or less. So so I think that there was the biggest difficult, like the whole thing.
Mhm.
um, and to get the story right, like um, to express these feelings of grief, of loneliness, of sadness that we all share, and to reflect that on the screen. I think that also was very difficult.
Yeah. I think it's also there was a point where these guys already presented their film for school and they did amazing. But then we also took it to like work in progress like instances. And I think it was really cool to get feedback that was more critical of it, like what we could add to it. And I think there was a point where we kind of had to sit down and say, okay, we got to shoot some scenes like again. So that I think that was pretty challenging because at that point we didn't have our art team as close anymore and as many hands as we did in the first months of filming. So I would say that was pretty challenging, but it was also really amazing to go back and do stuff. And I think and it's stuff that stayed to this version that we're gonna show in Sundance. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. Um, Sorry, I didn't know if you had anything to say. So, what do you hope audiences take with them after watching this film?
Uh, I would like to say that even though especially we three and like we four that are like the main like people that
Team.
moved everything team, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, we see it now and like there's stuff that we would love to change or like think we could have done differently and better, and especially Martin and Josefina that are like animators and like really know much more than they used to know at that point. So we're pretty critical on that, but I think that it's beautiful that it's kind of messy at some points, even in the animation or even in the art or like everything. And I think that's beautiful because today, especially with like AI and like digital media and everything, we question everything we see on our phones and on our screens. Like, is this real? Is this not? And I think it's just wonderful to have this that's also a really beautiful story, but that you also see that there's a human hand behind this. There's a human touch behind this. And I hope that people can see that and kind of reflect on that too.
I love that. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add? Just,
I'm fine. Thanks.
okay, just checking in. It's like on Spotlight, so I can only really see like one of you guys at a time at times. So,
Okay.
for your film to be at Sundance and in its last year in the historic location of Park City, how does it feel to be a part of that history?
It feels very surreal. We never thought that our short film would get to Sundance. Like, we work with a distribution company from our university, and they like got a waiver fee discount, and we like submit our short film, but with I think with zero hopes like we will get in. So just to be selected, it's amazing, surreal, and also, well, we will travel to the festival, and I never thought like someday I would go to Sundance, and to be there for its last year in Utah. It's amazing. Like I never dream of.
It's really exciting. And so I think no one of us uh, thought of getting in Sundance. And the moment we knew, it was like unbelievable. Like we thought we are getting scammed. I think it is.
Yeah, we
And
received a phone call and we thought it was
yeah,
a scam. Like we didn't believe it.
it was exciting, funny, and also like we didn't believe it till we get the mails, I think. And yeah, it's the last edition in Utah, so I think that made it everything like a lot more special. And yeah, the opportunity is amazing. To get to know more filmmakers and to be in this like event of the industry is it's it feels like a like a prize to our work too.
Yeah, I think we're really thankful as well. And to me, it's really special because I was actually born in Utah, and I've grown up here in Chile and travel back and forth sometimes to see my family because all my dad's side lives in Utah. And so Sundance is like the first film festival that I've ever heard of, like being a kid. And I would actually travel like now, like in January, because it would be summer break here from school, and I would be able to go and visit my family. And I knew that Sundance was happening, but it was never really an option because my family's like country Mormon, really like don't know anything about films and at all. So I've actually never been to Park City, and I think when we received the news, it was really amazing. But then to get to know that it was the last like year that they do it in Utah was beyond like crazy to me. It's still kind of crazy, but I'm really thankful and I'm really happy that I hope some of my family members get to see our movie and our film over there. So it's pretty great.
That's amazing. That's like a full circle moment for you to come back to Utah and almost have the send out for Sundance after not being able to go for so
Yeah.
long. Those are all the questions I have for you guys. I want to thank you guys for, sitting here and talking with me. I can't wait to see the film in full at Sundance. It looks amazing. I love stop motion animation, pretty much all animations. So I can't wait to see your film. And thank you guys for tuning in to Kicking In with Tyree with the crew from Sorrow Doesn't Sleep at Night. That's all I have.
Ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kick it with Tyree, hit a 3 like Kyrie.